What is going on, everybody? How's it going? I'm just hanging out. Happy to see all of y'all. A little bit earlier than normal, but I hope that's okay. Got my kitty cat here. She's just getting tamer and tamer every day, which is great. You know, she was completely feral. We couldn't even touch her. And over time, I left food out for her, and then slowly I'd let her come around and she'd rub up against my leg. If I tried to pet her, she'd run away. Then there was a period where she'd hiss at me, and like she's just afraid of everything. And then last year, I guess, she got really cold in the winter, and I found her in the exhaust vent area of where the house and the dryer put out exhaust, like put out steam. And she was there, which was warm, but then as soon as it stopped, she was gonna, it would have turned to water vapor on her. So I put her inside because she was so cold. She let me pick her up, and that was a year ago. And then it's taken me another year to get her now to like come when I call her and actually hang out with me. And we're trying out having her on the channel a little bit, but she's been very vocal, and she's been very vocal lately and meowing a lot, which has been challenging for videos. Challenging to say the least. Zilla Thomas, welcome. We have a member, and it's your first live stream. You're a member and you haven't even hung out with us live. Well, thank you very kindly. Fishery, what is the secret sauce to green realies? Heard of any success? Green is a really hard color line of shrimp to stabilize, period. And my guess is that since it's only really been stable for maybe 5 years, that it the really line is even harder because you're trying to breed in that blank spot, that clear spot, and that is a tendency of a wild shrimp to have the clear. So it has to have the clear genes and the green line, and have them both like co-dominant expressing. And so I think that's why it's so tricky, is because it was hard, because green is not actually a color that is just one gene. It's actually blue and yellow. It's a mix of it, and the orange gene actually too. And there's 2 or 3 different lines of green shrimp that are dominant in the hobby. So while I have seen them, they are probably tricky. Are stem a class of aquatic plants? Not scientifically speaking, but we kind of consider a stem plant anything that you trim and then you can replant directly. And everything above the roots you can trim and replant, kind of, basically, is the like it's tissue that you can use however you want. Hey, don't fall, we're on a stool, silly. Okay, here, let me put you down. She's probably gonna go ballistic. Right around. Oh wait, hold on there. There we go. Now I can hear myself. She's probably gonna go ballistic in a minute because she was gonna want food. Hey, what's up, George? Happy birthday, by the way. I've got mine coming up. I don't even know what day. The 19th. Whatever day that is. What is it? The 16th today. So Friday, I guess. So yeah. Jesper, it would be cool to see you start up aquariums and follow them over some time. So actually, I've done that. If you just go back, the thing is, most of my aquariums have been set up for several years now, but we have 1,400 videos and live streams. And if you go back and watch like aquascaping videos or whatever, I mean, most of what I'm filming, even if it's a top 10 countdown or something, with the exception of some stuff filmed in stores that are local because they've got plants that I don't own or something, it's all just stuff from my tanks. So you can actually go back and I like watch them. Now, there's also been updates, like I'll say an update on the whole fish room or an update on all my tanks, and you can go back in time and like search for that phrase and then watch those live streams or videos. And then there's also like trimming my tanks. I've got some time-lapse videos of trimming and upkeep. I've also got like tips for aquascaping and tips for algae or duckweed control, tips for aquasoil and hardscape, or rather like the hardscaping and the aquascaping bit of it without the plants. So just the sticks and the substrate is the aquascaping and hardscaping bit. So yeah. Sketty, how's it going? I'm glad to hear you're doing better. That's awesome. Christopher Halecki, hello, welcome. First time in live chat. Let's see here. What did you say? Should I put a layer of gravel below fluval stratum? That's up to you, but what I like to do is to take lava rock or something that's porous, that's light, because when it's lightweight, it fills up a little bit of space, but then in the voids of it, and this is the next video that requires planning, essentially, that I'm going to be doing, because I just got a call at the hardware store locally, the Ace Hardware near me, finally got in the sand that I've been wanting, which is HTH brand pool filter sand, and it is like just beautiful blonde kind of golden sand that is not coral based. It's completely inert. I mean, most sand is, but if it has coral, it can mess with your TDS, and it can make your water a little more alkaline. But yeah, I ordered that in. I've got the aqua soil, so I've got 3 bags of fluval stratum, the big bags, and I've got a 65-gallon aquarium outside. So I need to build a little table or desk, podium, whatever you want to call it, for the like to hold it. And I think I'm just gonna do the old cinder block and 2x4 kind of trick, because where it's at in the fish room, it's not going to really be like looked at. It doesn't need to be a piece of furniture. It's just basically to minimize the footprint of it in the fish room. Maybe keep a smaller tank underneath it eventually. But yeah, I would say, yeah, because a lot of people have asked, hey, can you do a substrate video on how you do your like what your favorite way of doing substrate is? And I'm also still torn on like how to title that. Like, do I call it the Alex method? Because I don't want, I don't mean that out of ego. It's just like how I do it. But I feel like saying how I set up a tank also sounds not exciting or not interesting. So I'm still a little bit torn. It's kind of funny like that. And yeah, Pile, what's going on? Queen Blah, what's going on? Evergreen Psyche, what is going on? Kimifer, hello. What are the dangers? Okay, so let me finish my thought real quick on, so the layering, what I like to do is I do a layer of sand, just like very thin. And all that's for is so that the rocks that are going to come next don't pressure point onto glass directly, so that if I were to put like a big rock or a piece of wood in the tank later, there's no like pressure point that could chip or cause like the glass to fracture. So I just put a thin layer of that. You could use felt, you could use whatever, as long as you don't have dye in it or anything that would be coming out. In fact, I've seen people use felt. And then I do a layer of lava rock, the red kind, if I can, usually, because the red lava rock is very porous, but it generally is red due to the iron. There's usually a little bit of zinc, cadmium, iron, and not magnesium, manganese. Thank you, brain. Finally caught up with my my brain caught up with my mouth. So yeah, I like the red lava rock that you get at Lowe's or Home Depot, like the landscaping kind. And what I'll do is I'll get a bag of that, and I'll put it maybe an inch deep. I always slope my tanks higher in the back, so the back's usually an inch or two higher. So maybe I'll do an inch in the front, and then the back of the tank, I'll do 2 or 3 inches of the rock, and then the next layer up, I'll do aqua soil. And I like Fluval stratum. If I'm doing a highlight tank, then I will use half Fluval stratum, half ADA aqua soil, Amazonia, and Amazonia, or Amazon, is it Amazon? Yeah, Amazonia 2 and original and version 2. It's kind of confusing how they rolled it out. It's a Japanese company in the US, and they don't really care about the US wing of things, to be frank. Silky, please be quiet. You were sleeping so well. I woke you up to say hi to the people, and now you're just being loud. So yeah, I think that, like, oh, I like that evergreen psyche. How about natural lasagna method? Yeah, I like that. Or active lasagna. So that's the like skeleton of it. So then you put that in. Then you put, I like to put, if I can, 2 inches of aqua soil or dirt or whatever your nutrient rich substrate is, and then an inch or so of sand, or if I can get it, my very favorite is local river sand. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we get river sand that is super fine, and it can almost be an issue, but it's the kind that, like, you swish your hand over it and you see it swirling around in the water, and it's got like mica and little flakes of reflective silver and gold color. So I happen to like it, and I use it. I go collect it from the local rivers, because I've also found it's so fine, it's so silty, that a layer of it half an inch thick can cap a live or an active aqua soil. Now the thing is, that I think the 65-gallon tank, after all of the thought I've been putting into that. So I've got a brand new 40-gallon breeder and a brand new 65-gallon that's kind of a tall rectangular tank, and I want to set them both up in the next month or so. And one, I want to be kind of just a nano fish community tank, even though that's what I have a whole bunch of. And then the other one I want to be, I think I want geos, maybe angels, maybe discus also have been in my mind, but I'm thinking geos. And lately though, the other thing is that some of the rainbow fish I've been seeing coming into one of the new stores in our area called Moonlight Aquatics are just phenomenal. There's a lot are locally bred, but some are just coming in from distributors that almost no one else in the U.S. gets their fish from. And that's where I got my panda loaches, because I got them for only $10 a piece, which is crazy inexpensive compared to the usual $20 or $30 that I pay if I get them through other places. So that is a interesting name. Wow. Zezhulan Irthos. Hello and welcome. That's a very interesting name. I like it. Slosser, what's up? Laura Taylor, hello. Let's see here. I may add to your thought maybe some history on how the idea of proper keeping of bettas and goldfish. You know, I did a big hour-long video on the history of the domestication of bettas. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that is extremely thorough, going over how different eras and different parts of society, like sailors and immigrants from Europe that were in the port cities of like Bangkok and Singapore, they were really into betting on the betta fights. And like the royal family saw them as more of an ornate thing that they would gift to visiting dignitaries or to people in society who were important. And in Thai cultural tradition, you know, they also would give away like elephants and leopards and tigers and all sorts of stuff. So it was kind of already an established tradition to give away like rare or beautiful creatures. I think I didn't want to miss it, but Kayla Gailey, hello and thank you, gifted a fish. I don't know why I read that as fish Tory, but yeah, sure, it's fish Tory, fish membership gift. Thank you very kindly, much appreciated. It really is, especially since you're already a member. Alishon, hello. A segment on the 20th, 21st. I'm guessing you mean century. Or maybe it cut it off on my screen, but yeah. So exactly, in my past history videos, I've pretty much given the history of the hobby up until the 1930s ish, like when the heater and the pumps came out. And I do need to finish like my history of the 20th century, the toy fish era, the aquascaping era, the nature era, the glowfish and all that other stuff, like how the synthetic and the manufactured comes together and is kind of dominant in the 20th century, especially in the 60s and early 70s, and then again in the late 80s and 90s, and then again now with the glowfish and stuff the last 8 years or whatever it's been since they've been gaining popularity. But let's see here. Just Joe, what's going on, Joe? Have you tried Aquarium shrimp and plant substrate? No, I haven't tried that one yet. I did see that and I want to, but I haven't. So the other thing I was gonna say is that the substrates that I've used, if I use an active substrate that's very hot, as we call it, that has a lot of ammonia, has nitrites and nitrates, that's going to be for a tank with like CO2 and highlight and stem plants that I want to run for maybe 2 or 3 years. And in those cases, I almost always have run those tanks where you just put in as many plants as you can right away, and you just run it with the lights on, and you wait for the algae to start. And usually when that happens, you're cycled. Now, I always test make sure the ammonia and the nitrites are 0, but the nitrates can then creep up. The thing is, if you're using an active substrate, is you're going to have ammonia present in the water, even if you have a cap on the thing. It's got to be a big cap, like 4 inches of sand, for no ammonia to come through whatsoever. So I like to do a fishless cycle of 3 to 5 weeks, if I'm using one of those really active substrates and aqua soil focused tanks. Jason says, oh, the oxytocin video was heart touching. Well, glad to hear it. Hope it didn't give you heart palpitations. Let's see here. K2 says, I'm fascinated with in the fish keeping boom in the 80s to early 2000s that had a lot of developments that just barely missed being documented on the internet. Yeah, you know, that era really, there were a lot of people like Tom Barr, for instance, or Crystal Castleman, even like Oliver Knott and George Farmer, Michael Finley, is that how you say it? And Mark von Wisco. There's a lot of folks who were early in that period doing stuff with planted tanks and shrimps and little invertebrates and things like aquascape style, kind of like a mix between aquascaping and community keeping, as well as just straight up aquascaping. And a lot of new developments had to be made because of that. Now, what's amazing to me is that Takashi Amano, who started the Amano Design Company, he really figured out like the pelletized aqua soil. He figured out which are kind of basic tools in the hobby. When someone says, oh, do you have, your kit of tools, where you've got the bent scissors, the straight scissors that are really long neck, and a little grabber or a magnetic grabber or a spring whisk, the colander, like all the little tools that pro aquascapers used. I mean, it's been set in stone for quite a while. So, I mean, yeah, that would kind of be an interesting time period to talk about in the hobby for sure. Is there still such thing as sand that does not have silica in order to avoid diatom algae? Aloha. Yeah, that's why I buy HTH, is it doesn't have phosphates or silicates in it. It is just like quartz, basically ground up blonde quartz. So that's handy. Slosser, you think that geos are overrated? Them's fighting words. I don't know. There's some really pretty geos that I really would love to have in a tank. I want to give them sand. I want to give them a sandbox and let them dig around. That's part of like why I think I want to do like a non-planted or very minimally planted tank, where maybe just like the wood has like a raft of some stuff planted on it. But I don't know, I could still be persuaded. So if you guys have something better in mind, let me know. Another tank that I would love to do would be like an African tetra and smaller fish tank, because it's so hard here in the US to get most of those African fish. They're just tricky. Hold on, guys, I'm real hot. It has been in Celsius, negative 11 or 12 degrees. And it is today a little warmer. It's more like -2 Celsius, or I guess about 25 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And now it feels balmy, now it feels like I'm getting hot easily. All right. So, Slossers, rainbows are awesome. Yeah, rainbows are awesome. Paulo, how's it going? Welcome, my friend. Interesting. K2, is it Keggers or K2gers? K2gers? Sorry, I'm bad. I'm bad with these names. If it's a puzzle, I just like, that's extra work. Like, I can't even remember a name, let alone a puzzle. So I apologize. What about Ctenopomas and other less usual anabantoids? Yeah, I love that idea. I would love to have those. Dan's Fish is probably the only place I know where to get that stuff. Maybe the Wet Spot sometimes has it. I see like Maidenhead Aquatics in the UK will have it, and Aquarium Glazer will have some of those. But like, it's just never available near me in the US. It's kind of crazy. Stephen P, what's going on? All right, guys. So if you have a question for me, remember to do @fishery, and then it'll highlight your question for me, which is very helpful. Cool videos from a cool guy. What's going on? Good to see you back again, my friend. Let's see here. Do you know anything about the platinum half-beak? Yeah, so the platinum half-beak is just a gold wrestling half-beak that has a platinum gene. That's it. Not to be confused with albino genes or any other things. It's just the gene that controls how dense their iridophore cells are. Now, iridophores are the cells that make fish sparkly, that give fish that silver shimmer, and that is really, that's it. That it's pretty straightforward. Let's see here. What I want to do is I was sitting in the corner. You know, it's crazy. You know that song Tom's Diner that I was just humming? Where she just narrates about having lunch at a diner in Manhattan or whatever. I didn't realize it. Maybe I'm just dumb, but that song has no music to it. It's not until a band in the 90s or a DJ put music to it that it had music to it. And then there's like the remakes, and then there's like also that guy with the super deep raspy voice whose video went viral recently, where he's like, he thinks it only halfway before he starts to answer. Which, by the way, that guy's voice is epic. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So somebody was saying Geo's not that impressive or not that great. I mean, that's one opinion. It's wrong. No, I mean, look how pretty these are. They have kind of funky heads, but I think they're cool. I think they're cool, guys. So I'm gonna, you go to your own party. I'll be at my cool party with my cool fish. I'm just interested in the fact that they are a communal fish and that they dig and kind of burrow in the sand and filter feed with their gills, essentially. I mean, they're pretty interesting. I was also thinking about doing like green terrors or something, like some of the where's another example? There's some of the Acaras too that actually have pretty interesting patterns and colors and all that kind of stuff that are out there currently. I mean, a lot of them have been out there forever, but they're in the hobby now. Okay. Let's see here. Mike says, look at some old videos, though. Great stuff. Yeah, so a lot of my old videos answer the questions that a lot of people will ask. And the thing is, YouTube is doing a terrible job at helping people find what they're searching for. And they used to be really good at it. So I know they have the ability. And you know what I just found is this week, literally this week, I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes. I'm going to show you what I make and all that. And I want to show you guys something real quick. Well, as we talk about the direction of the channel and what I should cover, so I'll cover some history of the 20th century. The bummer part is, though, I do those videos and a few like them, and I don't know if other people don't like them necessarily because the impression rate is so low. Like the YouTube algorithm for like a top 10 list versus a deep dive into some history tidbit or some really specific topic. Rice fish, fishy fun. Rice fish will definitely be getting bigger and bigger as time goes on in the hobby, especially in the next few years. I think we'll see a massive explosion in how many people are breeding them and taking care of them. Cool idea. My camera is blurry. Hey, Ken, what's going on, man? Good to see you, my friend. Hold on, I'm going to skip over all the questions. I'm sorry if they're wonderful questions, but skipping over them just to get caught up with chat so that whoever's here gets to chat with whoever's here. Here's that name that I'm going to ruin again. I'm so sorry, my friend. Zez Huanth Irthos says, I've watched tons of your videos and they're pretty informative and awesome. Well, thank you. The old videos, like I was saying, you can go into your tab on YouTube and you can do the @ symbol and write Fishery. You don't need the exclamation point, just Fishery. And then another space and just type, you can do it in quotes or not quotes, but then you type like whatever, Earth Eaters. I don't have anything on that, but you could type panda loaches and it should take you there to my former stuff. Now, a lot of my former stuff doesn't have the edited graphics like the stuff the last year to 2 years has. And, I'm still torn because editing does add, it doubles the time it takes to make a video, quite frankly, editing alone and all that. So I am torn a little bit on it. And lately I've been finding myself feeling like the videos that I've produced are at a certain quality level. And it may not be like professional videographer, like a big channel, like, Aquarium Co-op. That guy was always buying new cameras and new mics and new, he's got an editor, he's got someone working with sound sometimes. I mean, like all this coordination, the sound's independent of the video a lot of times. And then edited on the computer, exported back, and then there's people to manage the social media. That stuff looks really slick. It looks really good. Well, for the longest time, my opinion was, well, I don't care. I just want to get as much information as I'm learning about out there. And so in some ways where it fell short, and I think that it really does help, is like when I can insert a chart or a graph that's relevant, that I want to keep doing for sure. But part of me now is getting kind of caught up in the idea of there needs to be something moving and changing, or there needs to be a video clip relevant to the audio during the video. And not just like a static picture, not just a mediocre film of my fish and my tanks, but that it needs to be like, B-roll or cinematic grade, essentially. And it's taken a toll on me a little bit, in that I just wish I had an editor. I have all these ideas and thoughts and I want to express them, but then now it's taking me, like, I can maybe do 2 of those videos a week instead of maybe 3 or 4 sometimes in the past. Jay Oliver, what's going on, my friend? 26 months as a member. Thank you so kindly, my friend. The guppy guru himself, Mr. Imports all the pretty fish all around the world. Yeah, Jay Oliver. If you guys haven't checked out his guppies, definitely a good source to get imported as well as local with him, raised guppies, and I think he's got other stuff too usually, but yeah. Let's see here. Jason says, I bought a green betta and in my lighting she turned blue. Now I have a blue betta. Yeah, they can do that just because of the light and how, like, what the color wavelength of the light on your aquarium is, which is something kind of interesting. I touched on it on other videos. There was a 3-part video series called Let There Be Light, where I went over a bunch of different lights that are on the market, how much they cost, how much par they have, what their Kelvin is, what their features and stuff are. And that whole series is really detailed, but it's out of date now, and I feel like I should redo it, but as a standalone episode that's like 20 minutes long. But it's like I literally filled up, I don't know, 4 hours plus of info covering that topic, the way it's already up there. So that's the other thing too, is like I used to include a bibliography that had all my sources for my videos so that people could go back and hyperlink, click on the fact check, whatever I've got up. And when I saw the metadata later of what was going on, I realized that it said something like 2 or 3 people in 6 months had ever clicked to open that Google document or whatever that I had it set up in, saved with all the info. So I kind of realized that I'm spending a few extra hours putting that together. Whereas if someone asks me, I can just say, okay, hold on, let me go look at the documents and my recent history of bookmark pages for projects in that folder or whatever. And I can send the details that way. Kelvin would be a good cat name. I agree, Aquatic Moose. Nice. Evil Stink. Hello. Stan Pittman. I like you and LRB. You're doing it right. Simple. Yeah, that's the thing is I wanted it to feel like a blog, like where it's just, hey, it's just you and I. Because if you start playing the game of being a spectacle channel, then you got to outdo yourself. You got to, oh, look what I found in this ditch. I found a barracuda. Like there's this kid in Florida, and I really liked his early videos where he was finding, I think maybe he found a pacu and maybe he found like some gouramis or something. But now it's like every other video, he's at some like little sewer vent. I think it's like Bass Fishing Productions or something is the name of the channel. And he's pulling out mormyrids and like ghost knives. And I'm like, okay, the ghost knife is in South Florida. But there is no way that there are, yeah, Bass Fishing Productions. Thank you, Going G. Yeah, it's there's no way that you're pulling out those creatures out of that little deoxygenated hole. And it is amusing, especially at first. But now it's just kind of like how many times can you do that same format? And I don't know. I guess the other thing that kind of bums me, so spectacle's one piece of that. The other part is research. So any video I put out, almost any video, okay, not every, but almost any video I put out, unless it's like some opinion editorial type thing, it's going to be a few hours, if not tens of hours of reading about the subject and related subjects and familiarizing myself with the concept, then telling myself what I want to say by creating an outline, then sometimes even creating a script. And I used to have a teleprompter app, but I haven't used it now in months. And, now I feel like by the time I've written it out as an outline, then written a script for it, then done takes, because, you do a take and the cat knocks over the camera, or your wife walks in the door and is like, honey, I'm home, like right in the middle of the scene that where you're talking or whatever, and you've been talking for 5 minutes and maybe you got 3 more minutes of stuff to say. So you're just like, okay, I got to restart it. And so by the time I do all that, I've actually learned / memorized like everything that needs to be known. And so then I just try to go through it one shot and maybe write a little note card or a little like, literally just like, on the scrap of paper, little drawings and stuff to remind myself, and just take a glance at that. And I know that's pretty low tech or low production value. And yes, it's out of laziness in one sense, but in another sense, it's just I never know what video is going to hit. Well, okay, I do know sometimes. I know if I were to take, watch these piranhas eat this prime rib. Who can eat this prime rib faster, a piranha or uh, a red tail catfish or whatever? Video like that. I know that's going to get a lot of views, but I'd rather do one on like dentition of pacus versus piranhas and their pharyngeal teeth and their taxonomy and phylogeny based on the teeth in their throat. Stuff like that. Mike says, please don't do clickbait. For clickbait's sake, what you've seen for me is as clicky as I'm gonna get. I hopefully, anyways. Like unless something comes up, but I'll do stuff like questioning Father Fish was the title of a video. And even though I agreed with him in that video on 80 or 90% of what he was saying, I did ask him questions about like, so you can never do a water change. He's like, oh, actually, yeah, you'll eventually at some point if you'll do a water change. That would be impossible, and that's where the key points that I wanted to talk to him about were like that, because I've known Father Fish for 5 or 6 years now, and when we started chatting, he didn't have a method, so to speak. He had deep substrate tanks in general, but he was calling it personally nature tanks or Wallstead aquariums, like Diana Wallstead's Ecology of the Planet tank, except for he was doing a deeper substrate, and he worked at a store, so he wanted the plants to be able to go into the sand, out of the sand, not kick up dirt and dust and mow them too bad. And they were only there for a week or two at a time. So his evolution, a lot of people are like, you don't know anything. He has 80 years of experience. And it's like, well, for me and him, or anyone for that matter, just because you're a certain age, does that mean you were keeping fish the whole time? Does that mean, he kept fish in the way of, you have gravel and, air hoses and airlines, kind of the way a fish store looks. Your typical quintessential fish store. That's how he kept fish for most of his life, and then he got into the nature tanks, and now he's kind of refined that. And now with the channel, he's gotten more into it. But it's an evolving process, and it's not to say that. He may know far more than me, or he may, whatever, depending on the person you're talking about. But time is valuable, but you have to be engaged and or trying new things, trying new species. If you just worked in a fish store for 100 years, it wouldn't teach you all that much about certain things. Now, you may really know about the bread and butter fish and about fish that have newly arrived, but do you know that much about how fish interact in combinations in big community tanks and how they act once you're done with the stressed out phase? And likewise, if you've only had home aquariums, then you don't know about all the behind the scenes fish store stuff. So my point is, that whoever you're listening to, take it all with a grain of salt, myself definitely included. And people, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to punch it or kick down or whatever at or up or whatever you want to call it at Lou, Father Fish, but like, yeah, you don't know. He was a priest for like whatever 20 or 30 years and didn't have a bunch of tanks. And then in the late 90s, he opened a fish store, a pet store, really. I mean, he sold everything you can imagine. And it's like he was about making money off the fish then, and then later he got to a point where he was about appreciating the nature, the ecology, that part. But people assume, I think sometimes on the internet, that this flash you're getting of a person is all about them. Like, I've only done planted tanks for, I guess, 9 years or so. I had 1 or 2 plants in a tank, like some anubias or a java fern, maybe a lily plant or a banana plant. That's really it before that, though. I just kept stuff in gravel. So I would say, yes, I've been keeping fish 27 plus years, but I started breeding guppies when I was 12 or so. And so that's really when I start counting 20 some years. That really has to be the marker for me, is like when I started reading about it, when I started like obsessing about it and doing more than just like keeping a goldfish in a goldfish bowl. So yeah. Oh yeah, Ants Canada. See you guys talking in chat about Ants Canada. That's a fascinating production. He was really scared to show that he's like over in, where is he, Malaysia or Indonesia, somewhere like that. And now he's got this whole building that might as well be an ant zoo. And it's, I mean, I think it's filmed well. It's really melodramatic, but at the same time, it can be a really good way to engage people. So yeah, I think that channel is like the apex of talking about like what you could do production wise in the aquarium or in the pet or animal informational genre. But yeah, the thing is, I want to know what I need to cover, what people want to see. And I'm getting kind of tired of people being like, hey, you should do a video on algae. It's like, I have 4 videos dedicated to getting rid of algae. I have a video talking about each kind of algae. Like, there's just all these videos, and some of them are older, and now I look at them and they're not up to the standard of the production value of my current videos, which still aren't a whole heck of a lot production value wise, but they're good enough that I feel like there's information, like putting the species name at the bottom when a plant appears, stuff like that makes a difference, makes people want to subscribe. But I've been struggling with that, and it's same with like the other thing I was going to tell you guys tonight is that I tried paying for ads and I learned something, and I actually might do a whole video on this as well, just for other creators. On that note, let me tell you what I learned about the YouTube promotional program or the ad program, and I'll show you my actual behind the scenes analytics in a moment. But hold on, I need something for my mouth. My mouth is so dry right now. Oh, before I walk away, black diamond sand, blasting sand, it's fine. It can be a little bit sharp. It can also be a little dusty because it can break down into smaller and smaller pieces with the friction over time. It is coal tar. It is not usable carbon as far as I've ever read. There may be some bacteria that can break that down and kind of unlock some of it at some point. But as long as you're treating it like an inert substrate where you realize it's not going to bring nutrition or anything like that to your plants, it's fine to use. I mean, you can use glass marbles, you could use Legos, I mean, whatever you want to use. If you're going to use an inert substrate, go for it. Hold on. I need something for my mouth, and I'm leaning over because of my back. Hold on. Hey, look who was right behind me the whole time. Hold on one sec. She does blend in. She is so dark. I don't see her if it's in a dim room. It's wild. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys my analytics. All right. So, cat's out of the bag. I'm doing pretty much better than ever financially. And that's with all the super chats, all the memberships, everything before taxes, which taxes are 28% in my state and federally combined. Actually, they're 39 if you count sales tax, which is 11 or 12% in my state. But you've got 2,600 a month. That's what I've been making, which is great. And I thank you all so very much for the support. This is really the first time where I'm like making what I need just to cover the basic, rent, phone, computer, whatever, the bills and my medical. It's not actually quite enough still. But I've tried the ad program, and what it is they say, give us money, and we will then give you more exposure. So as you're streaming, or rather, as you, the viewer, as you're going through and the other thing to remember about YouTube is I've been doing this now 7 years. And until 6 months ago to a year ago, I never saw over maybe $1,200. So this is new to me. And this is like finally sustainable in a way that like my wife, isn't giving me the look like, why I have to support your crazy fish ambition. So I do feel like I really hope that it could continue, and Father Fish told me that he's making 10 grand a month with just 150,000 or whatever he's at now, 100,000 with the growth he's seen, which is wild. I mean, that's insane and good for him. But it's kind of an exponential thing. Like once you start earning, you start earning more, and there's more options, and there's more vendors and resources to you. Now, I also put out videos at a rate that most people don't. I've got 1,400 and almost 1,420 videos out now. So I've averaged like 4 a week for 7 years. And most of that time, 5 years of that, or let's see, 4.5 years of that didn't get paid at all. So if you average out the time and everything, and you average out that I spend between comments and working on the tanks and all that, if I included taking care of my own tanks and buying stuff for the fish and all that stuff, it would be easily 70 hours a week job. But I'd say more like 50 hours for the channel with answering comments and stuff. I'm not going to count the whatever. Yeah. Father Fish has hired 6 people right now. Asia. He said that he's paying out $10,000, because he's also selling plants and making, he said, the same that he's making with YouTube through plants right now. And he's just flipping them right now, but he's trying to get water vats so that he can convert the plants. Whereas right now it's whatever they cut at the Florida Waterscapes is the name of the wholesaler that everyone uses, either them or Florida Aquatic Nurseries. Those two are the ones that everybody, like 90% of the hobby, use in America. So yeah, but it is like a snowball over time where, you pick up speed. So let me show you guys the channel. If we look at like my audience, and it's all messed up right now because of me I paid $120 on 3 different videos to promote. So I tried the promotion thing, and you can see right where I started promoting it. Look at the subscribers. So I have 4,000 more subscribers this month than a normal month ever in my history. So 4,100 extra subscribers. You can't tell me these are quality. I mean, look what I averaged forever. I mean, so we can do 28 days. Can we do? Yeah, let's do a year. So there's points where things have gone way up or whatever. When I have a big video or I get into a fight with Joey or, whatever. But if we go over to subscribers and we go, I mean, look at this. We're seeing maybe at max 90 a day. This is where I start paying YouTube in January. And my exposure is what's really interesting. So I felt like I'd been shadow banned for a long time. Like I felt like I make these videos and even my own viewers are like, what is going on? Where is, like, I haven't seen you in forever, dude. Where are your videos at? And it's like, I've been making all these videos, but if I go to, let's just go to one like this one. How do fish recognize one another? So in the analytics, you can see it's doing lower than normal. It's only got 1,900 views. The watch time is 267 hours, and I made $12 off of that video. Now, I spent about 20 hours researching this video, and I've made $12 off of it. No subscribers. Now, if we look at the engagement, you can see about 8 minutes was watched, and the watch time, whatever, audience, almost all returning viewers. Like, look, they didn't even show it. The blue there is new viewers. They didn't show it to anybody. 20 versus over 1,000. So they didn't show it to 4 people. And you can see that in reach. So impressions, 32,000. Well, I have 60,000 subscribers now. So not even my people who wanted to be notified saw this video. So this video was just doomed. It didn't do well when it started. And so it was doomed. And a lot of the videos that I create, this happens to. The click-through rate is now at 4.1, but it was at like 9.5, which is pretty good. Now, the other thing is, so let's look at a successful video. I'm not used to looking at this on the computer, but all right, so if we go to, let's see, where's one that has a good amount of views on it? Okay, this one with Father Fish, the truth about, or questioning Father Fish, right? So, and then I'm going to show you what the ad ones look like, because something fishy's going on. So this one did great. And one of my best videos I've had in months, I've made $218 from that video this month. Has 34,000 views, and they're long views because that video is like 45 minutes long or whatever. So the watch time is 5,000 hours. Good subscribers. Now, engagement, this video, or sorry, not engagement, reach. So the impressions, 416,000 people saw the thumbnail. That's what the impression means. It means that they ever even saw the thumbnail. And so with that ratio, you can see then that resulted in about a 5.9% conversion to people clicking on it. And then that was only 28,000 unique viewers. So it throws out the difference between that, unless it knows you're not a bot or whatever. But what's interesting is the traffic source. So like this, the browsing feature, it was suggesting the video to folks. Suggested videos 29.3%. YouTube search, like search terms, why would anybody be searching for that anyways? You know, I don't know. It's not really one that you'd search for. But let's look at this one. So this is the one I spent $40 to promote this through YouTube. And it's a new program. Now, in this video, I felt like it was well edited, pretty flashy, 16 minutes long. And when we look at the info on it, 163 subscribers supposedly. But I've only made $35, even though there's 30,000 views. And the watch time is way down. Now, look at this. The reach impressions, so it showed it to 90,000 people supposedly. And I mean, that doesn't add up. 89,000 people saw it. 5.6% clicked on it. And there's 30,000 views. Wouldn't that be a 30% click-through rate out of this? So that's really weird, for one. The fact that happened. So then I was kind of like, well, that's weird. And only 1.9% of people got a notification and clicked on it. Or only 4,100 people out of 60,000 got a notification about it. Out of that, 0.5 to 2.5 clicked on it. So it claims that out of the 4,000 people, 4,000 out of 60,000 subs, it claims that only 0.5 to 2.5% wanted to watch it, with 79 views out of all those views, out of 30,000 views. Very odd. Now, it says on Facebook, 23% of the views came from Facebook. WhatsApp, I don't do anything on WhatsApp. Maybe somebody shared it, but I think these are the Google ad things kicking in. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that, where is it? the revenue. So, I mean, usually with 30,000 views on a 17-minute video, you'd expect to see like $100 easily, but it's only down in the $35 range. And I spent $40 to promote it. So what's crazy is that, you know, YouTube's just really not showing my stuff to most people, because when they do, I have like a 10 to 12% click-through rate. And it's like 5.6 on this video that I promoted. Now you can see how it did on its own. Like, this was the first, when I put the video out December 7th, boom, there was a little peak the first few days that was natural of people coming and checking out the video or whatever. And then over here, here's where the promotion starts by YouTube. Those are all unique viewers, supposedly. Only 40 each day, 30, 24. And there's 2,000 new viewers watching this video. But I mean, it just doesn't add up the time-wise either. So it dropped my time. And look at this, 75% are in India. So I think what they're doing, guys, is they're allowing bots to watch my videos. They're actually allowing, hold on, I want to be frank with y'all. So they're allowing bots to watch the video, and they're not kicking off the bots so that it can count, because they know bots click on everything. So that counts as their click, and then they get, you know, they don't have to do anything. Whereas for my other videos, as soon as it's seen as a bot, they toss it right away. You know, they don't count it as a click. So I would say, if you want a bunch of meaningless subscribers, and like, you know, I was hoping that that promoting the content would kind of get me out of this shadow ban realm, because I find other people are fine, you know, are in the same kind of area as me, size wise and stuff. Traditionally, I make like 4 or 5 times more per view than they do. So you guys are very loyal. The core group of y'all that do interact with the channel, that didn't just subscribe and forget about it, you guys are incredible, and I want to thank you so much. But yeah, the anything that you're paying for, like through YouTube or whatever, great. I got 5,000 more subscribers than normal this month. The average watch time is down to 2 minutes instead of being 10. So you can't tell me that those are like people that really wanted to watch my channel and they subscribed off of one video. So yeah, it's kind of odd. I wouldn't know who you were without the beard. Yeah. Gotta remind subs to change notification setting for it to work correctly. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is, pretty much, it's been, Boots and Cats. Thanks for that info. The fish gourd have been a huge help. Yeah, that's good to know. But yeah, so it's just interesting that the channel has gotten a bunch of subscribers and supposedly a bunch of views since I started promoting it. Because what they do is they guarantee you X amount. They guarantee you that you can spend, so you set a limit, like $20 a day. And then they'll say, we will spend up to that limit. And they show however many people it takes before you get, for instance, 1,000 clicks on a video. So it may be that for $20 you get 1,000 clicks, for $10 you get 500 clicks. And they're going to keep showing it to thousands and thousands of people, the thumbnail, in their feeds until they click. Now, the other thing they'll do is they'll put a subscribe button highlighted, and they did this new feature where it lights up the subscribe button and a little graphic goes around it. They make it super easy to subscribe when you are promoting the video like that. And it even says, do you want to become a member? ? Like, have you guys gotten stopped by those videos where it's like it stops and it asks you a question like, do you want to do this, or do you like want to keep watching this channel? Like, here's more stuff we think you'd like. But it doesn't do that on most channels. So there's certain channels that get this like crazy preferential treatment by the algorithm. So it's very interesting. I don't know. I think I'm probably boring y'all, but the point was that there is, RC Savage says there's YouTube channels that talk about how to keep different species, but never how to keep them healthy or recommended biotopes or parameters. Well, there's a surface level of everything. I mean, most people don't want a 20 or 30-minute video on a single fish, even if it's chock full of information. Some of us do. We're the big old nerds. But, others are in the more I'm flipping through shorts kind of mood. And if you're in that mindset and then you come to the 15 to 30-minute views, like there's no way anybody's going to want to, it's too much ADD, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. I think mentioning the algorithm hurts you in the algorithm. I 100% agree. I think it does too. It'll probably hurt me. You're not fond of being called a nerd? Sorry. Not sorry. Because if you like my channel, it's pretty nerdy. Now, I'm not saying being a nerd's a bad thing. Stephen P., thinking too hard about the algorithm makes the algorithm change. Yeah. Stephen P., I think it's bots when you pay for. Yeah, nerds are cool now. That is the cultural deal. But, Kenny, actually, now that I see Danikin Aquatics on here, he promoted. Okay, Mike, sorry. Well, thank you, RC Savage. Jesus, what's up? Adam Miller, good to see you. Also, I think I found you by searching for something specific. I usually want to know about a single topic. Yeah, that's probably how most people, I think, end up here on the channel. Or they hear, like, from Father Fish or someone like that, or Lucas. Thank you, Jeff. And I promise you, that's what we're going to keep doing this year. I just hope it works out, because finally, like, I'm in the territory or the range of like, this could be finally paying enough money to like pay off. Like, because the thing is, like, even if a YouTuber say makes $100,000 a year, right now after taxes, I'm making like 32 at best, right? So if you make 100 or 200 grand a year, still no retirement, still no benefits. And how long did you do it for free? And also, what happens when it stops? So it's kind of a weird, precarious position to try to do it full time. But for me, it's like I'm just kind of riding it till the wheels fall off. And it seems to be doing slowly better and better. I was surprised on the videos that I promoted how much it increased certain things and decreased other things. Like, it is wild how few of my subscribers, less than 4,000 of my subscribers, get notified out of the gates when I create content. Now, I already know that 70% have the bell clicked at either partial or all, and it looks like about 20% have it clicked to every single thing, yet less than 2% of my subscribers actually come once they see the thumbnail. So it's just very interesting to me. Maybe you guys are all bored, but how do you tax 100K down to 30? What? You don't. I'm not making 100K. What I'm saying is that if you made 100K, it would still be well, they would, I mean, in the US, you'd probably get taxed around, I mean, if you do write-offs and things, well, you'd probably be taxed around 25%, 20%. And then from there, you'd get the rest of that. Other than the other thing is YouTube takes 40% off the top of like super chats and things. So there's that also. But no, I wasn't saying that it would go down to that. I was just saying that $3,000 or 2,500 to $3,000 a month right now, it equals in the 30K or 30, I think it's $36,000 a year that I'd be making if I made that monthly after taxes. The 100K, I was just saying, if I could get to that point, then it would be sustainable. Like if I could make 100K a year, which would be what, 4,000 a month or so, 5,000 a month. Then you'd have wait, that doesn't make sense. What am I talking about? I don't know. My brain's not working on the math on that one. So there's 12 months. 12,000. I mean, you'd need 10. Yeah, you'd need like almost 10K. So 8 or 9K. Then the taxes. So you probably need 10 to $12,000 a month to be making $100,000 a year through YouTube. Interesting. Yeah, 10K ish. Yeah. Yeah, methylene blue. I use methylene blue also for fungus and eggs. Also, just lots of catappa leaves and stuff like that. You can prevent mold that way as well. Luke Wang, what's going on? First class fish, what's up? So yeah, I mean, all of this, it's an interesting adventure. And I just want to keep pushing away at it. But I'd love to know too in the comments. It's easiest in the comments after the fact. I have been reading what you guys have been saying, but if you have a specific question like what about these fish, or what are your favorite, or what are your top 10 plants that are in soft water, whatever it may be, let me know what videos you would click on, like you want to know about. Because I feel like at this point, I also want to redo some of the old videos because I can tell someone, oh, I already covered that topic, but did I cover it in a way where like it's as engaging as it could be? And the answer is probably no. You should retire from YouTube like all the other big guys. Yeah, right. Well, it's crazy how like if you have like, for instance, 1 million subscribers a month and you're averaging, it all depends on like how many minutes people are watching also, because you can fake your channel so easily. I mean, you can have 100,000 subscribers that don't mean anything. You're not even making $400 a month. Whereas you can also have a channel that size that's making $5,000, $6,000 a month. So yeah, we want to discover a new species of fish, learn stuff, and DIY stuff, like how to start food colonies. So I've covered that pretty extensively. How to start live culture foods. We've looked at it under the microscope. I do want to do more microscope videos. Yeah, thanks for nothing. What's going on, buddy? Just talking about the algorithm, and I was just showing my analytics. I was just showing here, I've been at it 7 years. I know you hit the jackpot. You knew how to do everything right, my friend. So more power to you. Sorry, that was really loud. So more power to you, but where is it? So I was gonna go to, where's the overview? Okay, here we go. So I was just saying, like, this is a really good month for me, about the same as normal. $2,600 is what I'll be making. But if we look at my history of how much I've ever made, and then can we look at this? Oh yeah, right up here we can change it. We can go to 365 days. So if we go to 365 days, oh, there's what I made in a year right there. $32,376. Now, that's 77% more than the year before. So that means, yeah, I didn't make anything. I mean like 10 grand or whatever the year before that. So finally we're hitting a stride where now I'm getting up to, like, a little above poverty wage, which is great. But here you can see it averages daily and what it organically looks like on a channel with quite a bit of content. And it's just every day there's these ups and downs. When you see like an ad campaign kick in, or a promotional thing, that's when things get weird on these graphs. So, like, let's see here. Revenue research. Research is a new tab that's like what people are looking for. So yeah, so most of my money is coming from watch page ads. 3-1 from, and then memberships are second. Super chats, last 7 days, $9. Shorts and feeds. So shorts only paid $1.17 this week. But I just figured I want to be transparent and share all this stuff with you guys. And so you guys can see too, if you've got a channel or if you're curious what's going on. It's easier to look at the month view. But yeah, I mean, the impressions right now, 72% YouTube recommending your comments. So 3.9 million impressions got me 193,000 views. My average view duration is 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Now on the promoted content, its old average watch time was way higher. It was like 10 or 12 minutes. Analytics is, yeah, analytics, here we go. But supposedly I'm getting 163, so it's tied with my best video of the entire 2 or 3 months for subscribers. You can't tell me those are normal subscribers. Yeah, traffic sources, YouTube advertising, 98.3%. And if we look at, again, the watch time, that graph looks kind of normal. This one, you can see with the promotion, when the promotion starts, it goes up, 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 up. But if we look at the average view duration, 1 minute and 53 seconds, down from 10 minutes when the video was organic, guys. So that means that the people they're promoting it to don't even want to watch it, or they're bots. And this is something I feel like YouTube needs to get found out about. I mean, somebody needs to do a good video covering all of this. Oh yeah, I hate the ad in the middle of the live stream. Have you guys gotten an ad in the middle of the live stream? I tried to turn it off. No, I don't think those ads are even targeted to fish keepers, Stephen P. And the other thing was, until I took India off their automatic list of places to show them, it was 75% clicks from India. Laura Taylor, you are so very welcome. I want to show you guys where if you guys are supporting the channel or you're a member, that's what it means to me. And like right now, it's for the first time at 7 years of working at it that I really am like finally above literally the poverty level with the wage. And so no benefits or retirement plan, but who needs that when you got fish, right, guys? But no, I'm so grateful for it now. Like right now, I'm really happy. Like it's paying off, and there's like this feeling of like it's gonna slip through my hands. They're gonna change something, and yeah. Evergreen Psyche Fishery not on your live streams. Oh, good, because I try to turn it off. There's not like a turn off your live stream, whatever, but you can not monetize it. But YouTube or Google, they're still going to run ads in between like your live stream and the next live stream or whatever. And the difference of turning it on or off is whether you get it or not. No, Mike. So I mean, yeah, that would be the logical takeaway, is to cater to your Indian audience for growth. But the problem is I have no comments from people from India, hardly, like less than 0.001% of my comments. And the people from India, they're just bots. Also, Mike, I have a consistent schedule. I've had some health issues, so sometimes I'll do a makeup stream, but it's Tuesdays and Fridays, and it has been for 4 years. At 4 or 4:30, somewhere in there, depending on what's going on in the day. And I try to post it a few hours ahead of time. Most people don't get the alerts, though. I already know that out of 60,000 subscribers, only 2,000 people got the alerts that I had a live stream today. I don't know how many get it once it's live. That's not recorded. But yes, and India is huge. There's lots of videos coming out of there and everything. It's just they also happen to have Bangladesh, and a couple other places happen to have huge bot factories, essentially. Yeah. Do you have a Patreon? Yeah, I have a Patreon. It's in the description. I have a Patreon, a PayPal, Venmo, you could tie it to a pigeon. But Merritt, thank you very kindly. That's very nice of you to say. And I am really trying. Now, I think like SciShow and some science-based channels in general do things the same way. Yeah, Fatherfish is big in India, and his editors and promoters are all in India. So, I mean, that also makes sense too. And I have some Indian viewers. They're just not one. They're even underrepresented for how many users I have that are from India, which is like 5% or something of my viewers. Yeah. Now, the other problem, though, is that India, like for an ad, India pays like maybe 20 or 30 cents for the same ad that you get $12 for in America per 1,000. So a lot of people ignore them. And only they only want them for the subscriptions and for the clicks, for the likes and notifications, subscriptions, that kind of thing. What time is it there now? Here in Seattle, it is 5:45. Just one more fish. We got a new member. Yay! Welcome. We got a new member this evening, and just one more fish. Thank you very kindly. I do appreciate it. And as I said, I will try my best to keep it all $1.99 as long as they don't make me change anything. I have used the VPN to change my address and stuff like that, and paid the advertising. I actually did through a VPN for that reason. RC Woodchuck. Melissa, doing more with other content makers with larger audiences. Fatherfish took off through Lucas. Maybe Lucas is kind of shadow banned too, like me. He is really stuck. I mean, he's been really stuck growth wise on his channel, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, he doesn't do super in-depth like research videos. He does more just like vlogs of what he's up to, which I think is great. Super interesting. And I've been there. I mean, I've done several videos with him, and I've done videos with Father Fish, obviously. I've done videos with lots of different creators, Rachel O'Leary, Ivan Mikolji, creators or scientists, ichthyologists. And I'm always a game to do more. Michael's Fish Room, obviously Joey. So yeah. Oh, right on. Charles, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Welcome back to the hobby. And yeah. Evil Sync, we got another new member. Woohoo! Welcome to the channel. All new members, or maybe you didn't know this and you've already been a member, but go to the community tab for this page. So go to the homepage of this channel, then go to the community tab. And you can go from there and scroll back, and it'll have all the episodes of Fishstreet, all 200 episodes of the 5-minute to 15-minute videos on current events and science in the hobby over the last year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. Having trouble finding your newest podcast. They don't seem to be in chronological order. So you can order any playlist on YouTube usually by like length of video and how old the video is, and like there's a few formats you can use. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm trying to keep it broad but interesting, right? Let's see here. Merritt says, have you considered expanding your business into set up aquascapes for business? Or yeah, so that is something I do. I also do consultations. Now, granted, I've done 2 consultations in the last 3 months. I tend to charge $50 an hour for my time on the phone, like or Skype video. Just so that people know it's serious, like, and let's talk about fish and not like, oh, what's up? What's your favorite color? What kind of bands do you like? Now, as much as I'd love to do that, I'm just short on time. However, I spend a good couple hours a day on people who just got my information, or they're on my Facebook, or they were really struggling in a comment and I said, email me. And then it turned into, okay, call me. And I need to dial it back again. Like I'm up to like 8 hours a day sometimes. dealing with that. And I need to let people figure that out on their own. Or, you know, and I hate that. I wish I could help everyone, but I can't afford to. I need to be making content to hopefully help everybody rather than just helping one person at a time. Yeah. The Fishy Plumber, hello. Rach, wait. Hey, Alex, I know you have some dope art. I think it's singing prints, all of crime pays. Yeah, I mean, I used to have an art gallery and prints, sell prints and originals and all that stuff. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that, but I could do that again. Yeah. Alex, I think you should come out with fan apparel. So I do have Secret History Living in Your Aquarium old gear, but I am gonna change it to the fishery stuff soon. But a lot of it, actually, only a few things, like 4 things, had the name of my channel on it. All the other things just have fish illustrations. So one sec, guys. Doobie doobie doo, doo 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 doo, doobie doobie doo, doobie doobie doo, la di da di da, la da 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 da. Doing something, and then you guys will see. And you'll see my pretties. How's that not a valid login? I was trying to get into my Teespring store, but right now it's not cooperating. Oh, well, sorry about that, guys. I was going to show you the merch, but yeah, a lot of people don't realize, oh, I've got a shirt, or I've got mugs, or I've got stuff. Don't have a Discord yet. I do have one like in the works, but I need somebody who knows more about Discord to really help me like plan it out. I've just been kicking around the space. I've also had a lot of people offer to host my Discord. Father Fish has offered, you know, so there's a lot of different people out there that have Discords, and they're like, oh, why don't you just have one? The Aquarium Guys podcast also offered, but I definitely want to have my own. Fish Hippie 39, new member. Well, thank you so much and welcome. Well, if you want to help me with the Discord, I put out, you know, hey, if you want to help, let me know. And a few people have reached out. One person even sent me a link to like something they'd created, but then I didn't hear from them again. So if you, and that might be a lost email. I don't know what happened. You know, I get so many back and forth correspondences that it could be my fault. And if so, I feel bad. If not, you should feel bad. No, I'm just kidding. So right now, I'm going to put it in chat, but beyond that, it'll come up on the screen here. AlexanderJWilliamson@gmail.com. So if you are, Jesus, if you want to help me with Discord or whatever, or Paul, anybody, honestly, send me an email and we'll figure it out. Because, yeah, I just need help understanding, like, what I need to do and how to have it set up so there's not a bunch of drama, or like Fatherfish had someone like seize his Discord and like turn on him, and like I don't know. There's been so many crazy things. He had to delete everything, and I don't even understand what happened there, but yeah. Yeah, it's the secret Discord living in Alex's head. Yeah, it doesn't exist yet. All right, guys. Well, yeah, Discord will be coming shortly in the next few months, I think, for sure. Oh, you work for free. Score. I'll make it known. Topic: scaping with clearing in mind, leaving space for getting to the glass, understanding flow patterns where everything will end up. Yeah. So I did. I've done several on Iwagumi aquascaping, and this was a long time ago when I was doing my apprenticeship, whatever you want to call it, with Steve Waldron, who owns aquariums, and it was very interesting. You know how you've got, like, if you have two rocks and they're set up like this, that's harmony. If you have two rocks and they're like this, that's really bad disharmony. If they're completely crossed, that's tension in like the Japanese traditional Iwagumi. And then you've got like the 5 stones, the mother stone, the father stone, the brother stone, and then like the throwaway stone, which is a little teeny one. So I have covered some of it from a traditional point of view, from a Zen rock garden and or bonsai application, about how easy is it to clean. It's very easy to clean because there's just you're only using 1 or 2 plants that are carpeting plants mostly. Let's see here. Jeff Kane, Alex, make Stephen P call and chat about Discord. 100% comment. Oh, yeah. Stephen P, you are very good. You are very good, my friend. Just set up soil and planted 10-gallon. What light do I recommend? I like the Fluvols, honestly. I know they're kind of expensive, but Fluvol 3.0, you're never going to need anything more than that. And it will do everything from carpeting in your aquarium to low light or whatever else you need. It can make your fish look really good if they're red, if you've got light that's got some more red tones and things, or if you want that metallic glitter kind of speck or fleck. Yeah, I'm losing my ability to talk. Yeah, we'll do maybe we'll redo the Iwagumi video. It's been like seriously 6 or 7 years since I did a video on it. So yeah, but I do have one. If you look, there's some live streams too that are on the fundamentals of Iwagumi aquascaping. The info is still all completely relevant, and it talks about the golden ratio. It talks about the rule of thirds and a bunch of other things as well. Topic idea: getting hairgrass runners to spread properly instead of popping up and having to be pushed down. Yeah, high light and consistent nutrients and flow. Those are really your biggest control factors for that one. Yeah, the Hygger aquarium light isn't bad. I hear the aquarium co-op light isn't bad. Or you can just go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a floodlight LED that's in the 6,000 to 6,500 Kelvin range. It's like 12 watts, super cheap. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. But those lights, some of those floodlights in that range are really strong. You could easily do a carpet. It's just some of those lights will encourage algae because of the color frequencies they're tuned to, and you can't really change it or do anything about it. Oh, really, Mike? You don't like the co-op light? That's the first person I've heard say that they didn't like it. Yes, and Mike, Fluval is not an expensive light in the grand scheme of things, but it is to most people here that happen to be a part of this channel. Usually, you know, a $200 to $300 light is very expensive to a lot of people. To me, it is, you know. But yeah, you can easily go out and get a Kessel and spend $900, or an ADA pendant and spend $1,200. I mean, sky's the limit. You could get like the silver halide or silver oxide lights and stuff like that, and some of the coral lights, and get something insane. But yeah, the 3.0. Curtis, what's going on, Curtis St. Martin? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, that's a good one too. You can put it by a window for free. That's true. You can get algae too. A $20 LED floodlight for the win. Yeah, I like Cree LEDs, CREEE, for the diodes. If you're gonna do that. Oh, Jeff doesn't like the co-op light either. It doesn't have an app for me to tune it with. Yeah, that's it. No settings or anything. It's a dumb light. You know, as far as like it's a Higer lights and things, Nycrew. Actually, some of those though do allow you to at least decide if you want the red and blue spectrums or like what it is you want. Mr. Octopus, I've been slowly working on a book while I've been working on this channel. So basically, any video I make, I have the outline and the sources I used set aside so I can revisit it. And, you know, my thought was, and this was a year ago, was that, you know, hopefully like 2028 to 2030 is when I would come up with something like a comprehensive history and science type book, probably under the guise of history, but it would go into what each thing means too, I think. Now, if I could team up with somebody like George Farmer, like I helped work on his book, Biotope Aquariums, that's coming out soon, or maybe it is out overseas. But if I could get something like that going, that would be incredible. You know, if I could team up with another YouTuber or a company that's doing publishing, printing useful and correct information, not just promoting, you know, whoever's hot at the moment. Mick M, what's going on? Good to see you as well, my friend. Have a good night, buddy. Don't worry, you're not missing much. I got to get off of the human tube. ABC, what's going on? Yeah, the phone app for Fluval is really nice. If you're trying to flower any sort of like Anubias or Kabamba, Bacopa, hydrocotyls, any of that stuff, super easy to do so with the Fluval light. Super easy to do with Twin Star, actually, is another good brand. If you don't want to fiddle with anything, if you want it set to a certain color that looks nice, good, and strong enough light, Twin Star lineup is pretty darn good, in my opinion. But yeah, let's hear. Wait, we got one more question I'm seeing. Would you recommend root tabs on a new planted tank? Basically brand new with 1 inch fatherfish soil and 2 inches of sand. Getting plants to root has been difficult in the past. Not using CO2. No, Justin, I wouldn't add root tabs right out of the get-go if you've already used some sort of fatherfish mix soil. His mix has been so hot that it'll burn the roots and kill them sometimes. Like that's how strong the acidity slash acidity and like ammonia. It can give ammonia burn. And then also, let alone if you dig in it under the 2-inch cap and you get it to go up into the water column, if you don't have a very well-developed bacterial filter in the sense of a hang-on the back, a sponge, or just surface areas covered in good bacteria, you're likely going to deal with an ammonia spike. Also, fatherfish has he thinks that nitrates don't matter and that you can have nitrates at 400, 500 in any fish tank and that won't impact their health. And that's a spot where he and I disagree. There have been papers talking about how fish that are born in high nitrate that keep living in it can continue to live in it and they live the same kind of length and things. But there's also papers about how wild fish that didn't live in it, when they get put in it, they do very poorly. Not to mention, if they've never had anything like that bad of water in captivity, they really can't handle it either. So yeah, I would just say skip the root tabs and stuff. See how that soil and aqua soil is going to do. Plant your plants, like he says, in the sand, but not down into the dirt too deep, just so that they're right about a ½ inch or on the substrate layer, and they'll reach for the nutrients in that layer. Now, if that's not working or they're not taking hold or purchase of the substrate, then you can just pop in root tabs like a chessboard or checkerboard every 5 to 6 inches. Whoa, that microphone falls over really easily. Hold on, guys. My kitty. Meow meow. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. I said I'd be done at around 5:30 to my wife. It's 6 now, so thanks for bearing with me. You guys got to see the secret world of my behind the scenes stuff. Hope you guys don't think I'm all just a wealthy 1%er now. No, thank you guys so much for the support and the positivity and the ideas for what we're going to cover next. Why are you so scared? Oh, it's the headphones. Is that better? Those headphones scary? Are those headphones scary? All right, you guys, have a good night. Apparently, the cat is terrified of me coming through the headphones. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. I'll see you guys Friday, and hopefully with a new video in a day or two.